Chinedu Okafor was one of the richest men in Lagos. He owned companies, he owned properties, he owned half the skyline. But every night, he went home alone. His mansion in Ikoi was beautiful to beautiful, marble floors, golden chandeliers, expensive silence. The house staff feared him, the business world respected him, but nobody truly knew him. At 38, he had never married, not because he couldn't, but because the only woman he ever loved left him when he had nothing. Back then, he was just a struggling graduate with dreams too big for his pocket. She told him, "Love doesn't pay bills, Chinedu." That sentence changed him. He worked, he sacrificed, he built an empire, but in the process, he built walls too. Now, women wanted him, models, socialites, daughters of billionaires, but he didn't trust any of them until one rainy evening. His car broke down on a lonely road in Lekki, and that was the night he met her, a simple girl, soaked in rain, selling roasted corn by the roadside. She didn't know who he was, and for the first time in years, someone spoke to him without fear. After that rainy night in Lekki, Chinedu couldn't forget her. Her name was Amara. She didn't ask for his number. She didn't try to impress him. She didn't even recognize his expensive watch. She just said, "Sir, you shouldn't be out alone looking this sad." That line hit him. The next evening, he went back. No convoy, no security, no driver, just him. He bought all her roasted corn again. They talked. She told him she was saving money to start a small food business. Her father was sick. Her mother was late. She laughed easily. She spoke honestly. She didn't filter herself. For the first time in years, Chinedu laughed too. His personal assistant noticed something strange. "Sir, you've been leaving alone lately." The board members started whispering, "A billionaire seen near roadside stalls?" Scandal, but Chinedu didn't care. Until one night, he saw something that made his heart stop. He arrived earlier than usual and saw Amara entering a black SUV, a luxury one, tinted windows. A man stepped out briefly, well-dressed, confident. He held her hand, and she didn't pull away. The car drove off. Chinedu stood in the dark, frozen. The one woman he believed was different. Was she playing him too? The next day, she didn't show up at her corn stand. Her phone was off. The roadside felt empty. For the first time in years, the billionaire felt small and alone again. Little did Chinedu know, the truth was far more dangerous than betrayal, and loving Amara would cost him more than money. The black SUV wasn't a lover, it was her uncle, Chief Emeka, a wealthy businessman with no wife, no children, but plenty of ambition. He raised Amara after her mother died, not out of kindness, but investment. Inside the luxury house that night, her uncle spoke calmly. "There is a man interested in you, a powerful man. If you marry him, I'll secure the oil contract I've been chasing." He leaned closer. "And I will pay every hospital bill your father has." Amara's heart dropped. Her father's condition was getting worse. Doctors had warned her. Time was running out. Her uncle continued, "You sell corn on the roadside while destiny is knocking. Do you want your father to die poor?" Silence filled the room. Tears rolled down her face, because she knew she was running out of options. That's why she stopped showing up. That's why her phone was off. She was trying to stay away from Chinedu, because the more she saw him, the harder it would be to say yes to another man. Days later, her uncle arranged a meeting. The chosen man arrived, arrogant, entitled, older. Amara sat quietly. Then suddenly, the door opened. Chinedu walked in, cold, composed, powerful. He had found out everything. He looked at the uncle. "How much is the contract worth?" The uncle froze. Chinedu continued, "I'll give you double, but she is not a business transaction." Amara looked at him in shock. He turned to her gently. "You don't have to sell your future to save your father. I will help you. Not because I want to own you, but because I care." Tears fell freely now. For the first time, someone chose her, not for contracts, not for gain, but for her. She stood up, walked past her uncle, and held Chinedu's hand. I choose myself. After Chinedu confronted her uncle, he didn't try to buy her freedom. Instead, he told her, I don't want you to depend on me. I want you to become who you were meant to be. That night, he paid her father's hospital bills quietly, no announcement, no conditions. Her uncle lost control. Instead of rushing into marriage, they started talking, really talking. Chinedu discovered she stopped school because of money. She once dreamed of studying business administration. She was good with numbers. She had ideas, big ideas. He saw something in her he hadn't seen in anyone in years. Not beauty, potential. Chinedu sponsored her education, but not as charity, as investment. He made one condition: you must graduate with first class. She laughed and accepted the challenge. Years passed. She studied, she grew, she matured. And during that time, they built friendship, trust, respect. After graduation, she refused to sit at home. Instead, she analyzed one of Chinedu's struggling subsidiaries. She noticed waste, poor management, unnecessary expenses. She redesigned the strategy. Within 1 year, the company's profit doubled. Board members were shocked. The roadside corn seller, now a director, one evening, in the same place they first met. Under soft rain, Chinedu said, You came into my life when I was rich but empty. You didn't ask for my money, you built with me. He knelt. Will you build the rest of this life with me? She smiled. Yes. They got married, not because she needed saving, but because they chose each other. Years later, she became managing director. He became softer, warmer, alive again, and the lonely mansion was no longer silent because kids run around freely and disturbs Chinedu the most.